What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm still John W. Snyder. I'm still here. I don't podcast as much as I said I would or as much as I should. It is what it is. Life is crazy. Horrible excuses all around. I should be doing one of these a week, and I'm not. But I'm back in the saddle or the chair, whatever it is. It's not really a saddle. I'm not in a saddle. That'd be silly. But here we are. First off, I want to say congrats to the Lakers. I want to say congrats to the NBA because they pulled off something that a lot of people didn't think was possible. Not the Lakers winning. I think everyone figured the Lakers would win. Obviously, they were the heavy favorite, I think, going into this whole thing from the beginning of the season. The NBA for pulling off the end of a season and playoffs in a bubble at Walt Disney World with 0 positive COVID tests. Incredible. So Adam Silver, congrats. I know you're not going to hear this, but congrats. It's pretty awesome. It's awesome to see that life can go on. In a bubble or not, because it's still going on. If you watch the Lakers win, and then you turned it to one of the local LA TV stations, there were thousands of people outside of Staples Center, not social distancing. Most were not wearing masks. But hey, here we are, 2020. I've got my own opinions about all of that, but I'm not going to do it here because no one wants to hear that. But no, congrats to the Lakers. That's awesome. Man, wild year for LA, the Lakers, with Kobe passing away back in January and the Lakers going on to win the NBA championship. LeBron getting his 4th. He's now won 4 titles with 3 different teams, 2 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland. And now in LA, he's won MVPs, finals MVPs at all those places. That's incredible. He's definitely in the top 5 of my favorite all-time players. Jordan is number 1. It's probably Jordan, Kobe, LeBron for me. I know everyone else has their own opinions, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You can have your own opinion, but I mean, you've also got Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. I mean, the finals MVP is named after Bill Russell. So you've got that. But I do think it's pretty awesome to win 1 title, right? There's how many players would give anything to win 1 title? LeBron's got 4. You know? And so it's amazing. It is what it is. I'm not a Lakers fan at all, but I love basketball. I like watching the NBA. I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and I would have loved to have seen the Heat win that, get Jimmy Butler a championship. I think Spoelstra is one of the top coaches, at least of the last 20 years. He's got to be up there for what he's done, and especially what he's done this year. Incredible. So congrats to the Heat. I know they wanted obviously more, which would have been winning the championship, but LeBron and Anthony Davis and the rest of that Lakers team, way too much. Frank Vogel became the 6th coach in NBA history to win a title in their first season with a new team. So congrats to you, Frank Vogel. I mean, I feel like any NBA coach probably could have coached the Lakers to a championship this year. But Frank Vogel, not all of them, but at least 10 NBA coaches would have won a title this year with the Lakers. Let's be honest. Vogel just happened to be the guy in the right place at the right time. Definitely hard work, but a little bit of luck also pays off. So congrats there to Frank Vogel. So It's crazy because the NBA season should be starting pretty quick, but it just ended. So I'm not sure on the official start date now they've given for this next season, but I guess January. They were talking December, I think, but they've moved it to January because maybe they're trying to figure out, hopefully, if this COVID keeps moving along, maybe they'll go back to a bubble, but that just doesn't seem feasible at this point for a whole season. Really, you're going to keep however many teams in a bubble for 82 games and playoffs? Ain't going to happen. That sounds really stupid. So I hope that they're able to follow what football and baseball has done and, get back to playing at their home cities, home courts. And if they can only allow like 25% of the people into the stadium, that's fine. Whatever. But I don't think we're going to see a bubble next season. Just my opinion. I think it'd be stupid. It worked this season, but I hope we never have to do that nonsense again. So there you have it. The Thunder still don't have a coach. Their old coach, Billy Donovan, is the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. So whatever. The Bulls is a horrible organization from the top down. So, best of luck to Billy Donovan, but not going to win there. But he has a job, so he would have been better off going back to college and coaching rather than the Bulls at this point. But here we are. So, again, congrats to the Lakers. Hated seeing it, but it is what it is. I do like basketball. I wish it would have gone to Game 7 because that would have been intriguing. So, what else is going on? In the last month since I've, done one of these, I've been to Colorado with some friends, went fly fishing for the first time. Holy cow. Fly fishing is so different than pond or lake fishing with a, spin caster, throwing a reel out or throwing a line out and reeling it in. Like when you go fly fishing, we had a guide, which was awesome. I would definitely recommend a guide if you've never been fly fishing. I'll get a guide again just because they know all the spots. But having that guide for that first lesson is awesome and very important, I think, if you've never gone fly fishing, because you basically have to forget every single thing about normal fishing if you've never been fly fishing. So, incredible experience. It was in Colorado on the Arkansas River with, usually there's like 6 of us that go on this trip, but this year it was 3 of us. 2020. Here we are. But, so I went with a couple of other guys and it was a blast. I highly recommend going fly fishing if you enjoy fishing. If you don't enjoy fishing, don't go. But if you like to fish, go fly fishing at some point. It's definitely worth it. I don't know what else is going on. I'm back at work. I think the last time I did one of these, I was working from home, and that sucks. I am not built to work from home, especially, it's just hard. It's hard. So I'm so thankful to be back at my place of work. Our kids are in school. They're in preschool, so they get to go to school, which is awesome. And they're having a blast. But, man, this year has been wild. We're in the middle of October. Not much left of this year, but wild. We've got an election coming up. I don't even know what to say about this election coming up. Oh, man. So many things to say, but things I'm not going to say. So, just go vote. Whoever you want to vote for, vote. I guess. Whatever. These are the 2 options we have. Anyways. What else is happening? College football? There's a bunch of games getting postponed. I just saw Baylor had like 32 cases of COVID on their football team, and they said like 29 of them were symptomatic and 3 were asymptomatic. That seems a little crazy and odd and weird. Oklahoma State had one game delayed a week against Tulsa. If you've not been listening to my podcast, Oklahoma State's my alma mater. Go Cowboys. That's what my son says. Go Cowboys. Oklahoma State, go Cowboys. And I get the Baylor game now has been moved to December or something. It's wild. There's games all over the place. I don't even know who it was. Air Force or Army, Navy. One of those teams is playing one game this year. They're playing one game and done. I think it was one of those schools. I don't know. Pac-12 and Big Ten haven't even started. Oh, man. I hope we get to see a whole season. I hope that we get to finish this out and crown a national champion. That would be nice. But, man, I don't know. Baseball's in full swing, though, with the playoffs, so that's cool. But back to college football, let's talk about OU Texas. I mean, being from Oklahoma, I grew up full disclosure, I grew up an Oklahoma Sooners fan. My brother went there. He graduated high school in 1986, so he was there from like 86 to 91 or something like that. So OU was good. Switzer was there. Gary Gibbs may have been the coach there my brother's last year there. I can't remember exactly. But Switzer was definitely there. OU was good. I was a Sooners fan because I was in first grade when my brother was there. So I cheered for OU football. But then ended up going to Oklahoma State and became an OSU fan in high school. I kind of went back and forth between, I cheered for Oklahoma State. I cheered for Oklahoma State basketball and OU football growing up, which is really bizarre because I was a kid. That's what I did. And then I became an OSU fan, went to OSU, and still was on the fence, but definitely bleed orange now and dead at the end. So go Cowboys, but that OU Texas game, man, and I know it's an old worn out joke, but I just love going on Twitter and just tweeting, is Texas back yet? Because, I mean, let's get real about Texas football. I don't even know, because I feel like the University of Texas, if you're coaching football there or any sport, like it's the University of Texas, you have all these resources. You have the whole state of Texas to recruit, and you can't win. Is it a coaching thing at this point? Because this was supposed to be the year. One of my buddies who's a huge OU fan, Hans, shout out to you, was talking about how, this was supposed to be the year for Texas, right? And man, but I think last year too, I think Herb Street or someone picked them to win the national championship. And then this year they were supposed to be the team. And now it's unreal how bad Texas football is. And I'm okay with it. I was hoping both of those teams would lose on Saturday. I mean, they tried. Nobody wanted to win that game. It went to 4 overtimes. But I just don't know that Tom Herman sticks around after this season. I just don't know. I know there's a lot of football left, but man, you've got a sweet gig in the state of Texas, and you've got other Big 12 teams that are better than Texas after however many years Herman has been there. The fact that Oklahoma State is better than Texas and has been for the last several years, and they have to recruit against OU in Oklahoma. I should tell you something about Texas. Maybe Tom Herman's not the guy. But who do you go after? I mean, it is an elite job. What do you got? Urban Meyer, does he want to coach again? Maybe. I mean, could he win at Texas? I just don't see how this year's going to end up good for Texas. It's not at this point, obviously. So, and OU, man, it's a bad start for OU football too. The last year to have this bad of a start was 2016, and then before that it was like 2005. So, you're going to have some off years, some bad years. They've got not a true freshman, but they got a freshman quarterback. So, there's a learning curve there for him, and it'll be interesting. And yeah, sure, OSU's in the driver's seat, but as an Oklahoma State fan and alum, I've seen way too much to be comfortable with that at all. Let's be honest. Obviously I want Oklahoma State to win the Big 12 and go to the playoffs, but as a long-time Oklahoma State fan, it's hard to get your hopes up and then know that they're probably going to be crushed because we'll end up losing some stupid game. And maybe not this year. Maybe this is the year Oklahoma State does something special, and I hope it is. But you never know. So I know I rambled a lot there, but I don't know how Tom Herman survives this year, especially if they lose another game. If they go undefeated, he probably saves his job the rest of the season, but they'll probably lose another one the way it's been going. They gave up a ton of points to Texas Tech, and they shouldn't have won that game. Texas Tech should have beat them. So they got lucky. So, man, college football is wild. I hope everyone stays healthy. I hope we can finish the season. But there's a lot of games left. Man, I miss doing this. I'm going to talk a little bit about my creative process and why I want to do this, and why I keep doing this, and why I need to do it more after this quick break. And we're back. So, if you've been around, I know I say this probably too much, but I do have new listeners sometimes. I like to talk sports in the first bit and then go to my break and come back and talk about whatever it might be, whether it's life lessons, creating things, doing things I've learned, whatever it might be. And so that's what this part is here. And I got to thinking, I'm reading a book called Everything is Spiritual. It's by Rob Bell. It's a really, really good book. And in there, he just kind of talks about how, his creative process and why he does things and, the things he does. And it got me to thinking about, I go back to even why in 6th grade I wanted to go into sports journalism and be a play-by-play guy and or / reporter, whatever it might be with sports. And thinking back, what it really came down to was that every day presented a different story. So then once I got to college and actually got in my journalism classes and had to do reports and find stories, that's what intrigued me, was finding something new every time I had a new assignment. It was never the same. And yeah, I wanted to do sports, but like I remember doing a story it was an audio story on cigarettes in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Or they'd have us do commercials and I had to make commercials. Or I had to do some kind of sports reporting. I had to do play-by-play. I did play-by-play for an Oklahoma State Baylor basketball game. I did play-by-play for an Oklahoma State football game for some of my classes and the things I had to do. And that's what intrigued me and brought me to wanting to do that, was the story was different every day. And I could not spin it, that sounds really bad. Every day. And it had to be something new, something different. And that's what was awesome about journalism is it's always a new story. Like, think about it. You woke up this morning and there's something new in the news. There's something new in sports. You went to bed and didn't realize that the Dodgers lost game 1 to the Braves. You went to bed not knowing if the New Orleans Saints and San Diego Chargers football game ended in overtime. Like, you might not know that, and you're going to wake up and there's going to be something new. You're going to go throughout your day and there's going to be something new to talk about. And that's what always intrigued me with journalism, and especially sports, because there's not one sporting event that's the same ever, and there never will be. There's not a news story that's really going to be the same. So that's what's really cool about journalism. I love that aspect of it, and that's what drew me to it, because it wasn't structured. It wasn't sitting behind a desk having to do spreadsheets or, doing something at some job that's mundane and the same thing every single day. And I know every job, there's different things you have to do, but for the most part, you go in with the same kind of things you have to do. Like, even my current job now, when I go in the mornings, the first 2 hours of my job are the same every day. And it's so boring. And that's what's cool about this. And I say all that to get to this too. And that's why I keep doing this podcast, because I can do whatever I want with it. And that's what I got out of that book that I'm reading by Rob Bell called Everything is Spiritual. That's what I got out of that and that's how he felt too with the things he was doing, is I don't have someone telling me what to do and how to do it. And this is my own thing. This podcast is mine. And, like I said, that's why I do the sports at the beginning, have a break, and talk about this stuff at the end. I can do it however I want. I could do it the opposite if I wanted. I can have interviews on here, which I need to. I can make my podcast 3 minutes every day if I wanted to. I could do one a day. I can do one a week. I could do one a month. And I think that's what draws me back to this, is it's not my normal job. It's not that punch in on the clock, punch out. I can spend an hour and a half doing this. I can spend 3 hours a week doing this. I can spend 30 minutes a week doing this, or whatever it might be. But this is my outlet. This is my thing that, especially with a podcast, like with doing it this way, I don't have anyone telling me what I have to talk about or how I have to do it. And that's awesome. And to be very open and honest, I wish I did more of these, and I wish I could figure out a way to make a lot of money doing this, because this is what I would want to do with my time. And this is how I would want to make money, because it's my own thing. I don't have to listen to anybody. I can do it however I want. And so I say all that because I hope you find that creative outlet. I hope you find something that you can do on your own that isn't punching in and punching out at a clock for work. Like, yes, I have my day job that I do that, but this is what gives me life. This is what wants me to keep doing this. Like, it's just fun. It's exciting. It's what I make it. And that's the thing too, is it's what you make of it. And I haven't made a lot of it yet, and I want to. And I've also said this in the past, like, this podcast for me is a marathon. And even though I'm not podcasting every week or whatever, I'm still learning. I'm reading. I'm doing things to get better and to figure this out, and to make myself better doing certain things on my own. And so, I would love to continue doing this forever. And like I said, it's a marathon. Like, this is not a sprint. I hope to be an overnight success by the time I'm 50. Well, guess what? I got 9.5 years. And so I just got to keep plugging along and keep doing things. And so I say that because if there's something that you want to do, something you want to create, something to do it, and do that thing that gives you life, that excites you. Drawing, painting, gardening. I don't know. There's so many things that we all enjoy doing, and things like this that you can do and no one can tell you how to do it. And maybe there's people though that are scared of that or don't want to do that, but there's no reason to be. Like, you know, I'm somebody to the people who know me and love me, but to most people I'm a nobody, and that's okay because I can just keep doing this, and I can podcast and record these things and learn as I go on my own time whenever I want. And I can have fun doing it because, again, if I could sit here and talk into this microphone for 3 hours a day and get paid to do it, that would be incredible. Especially at my own time, my own whatever, without people telling me what to do, where I have to be, that kind of nonsense. And so that's why I do this podcast. This is like my outlet. This is where I can create something that is mine. And obviously I'm 100% open to taking feedback from people too. You know, and so if you've got any for me, I will definitely listen and look into it and may change things, because that's also very beneficial to me. And so that's what's cool about it, is this thing is evolving every day, every week, every month. It's changing. And so I love it. And I want you, and I hope you find something like I have that can be your own thing, that can be something that you create, something that you can obviously listen to your friends, your peers to take that feedback. But in the end, you make it what it is. You create it however you want. You can do it however you want. And so find that thing and do it. Go after it. Have fun doing it. You know, if it's not fun, don't do it. Like, it's that simple. Like, if I didn't enjoy doing this, I wouldn't do it. But I love doing it. And, you know, I thank you for listening. I don't even know who most of you are. You know, I've looked at the last stats over the last month or two, and right now, almost every single episode I've posted and put out there in the world has over 100 listens. I thank you so much, because that's huge to me. Like, when I had podcast episodes hit 10 listens, that was exciting, or 20. And now they all have over 100 each episode. And so I've got to make this thing evolve, especially since I love doing it. And so thank you for coming on this journey. Obviously, this thing is nowhere near the end. It's a journey. It's an adventure. And there is no end on this thing. I'm going to keep going and keep doing it and having fun. And I thank you for all the subscribers that I have. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Amazon Music now, or Apple Podcasts, whatever, please subscribe. Please, if you want to give me 5 stars, great. If you want to give me 3 stars, that's fine too. I don't care. If you want to give me 1 star, do it. But I would love that kind of feedback too on wherever you listen. Please write a review. If you listen to this, please write a review on Apple Podcasts, whatever it might be. I don't care, but anything. You can also find me on Twitter, JohnWSnyder, John W. Snyder. Same with Instagram, JohnWSnyder. My Instagram game is horrible. Don't know what I'm doing. And Twitter's just hilarious. I mean, I think it's funny. But anyways, I digress. You guys are amazing. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon.